Hello YouTube, I'm here working on a 2005 GMC Envoy with a 4.2 liter engine. This vehicle came in with the check engine light and an ABS light, as you can see. Customer complaint is that the vehicle runs rough at idle and during low speed conditions. The rough idle tends to go away during higher speeds or higher RPM. The rough idle condition almost seems to be like a misfire type symptom. Okay, so next I'm going to check the codes with my scan tool. So you can see I'm gonna hit a permanent DTC. It seems that we have 6 codes. First one is the P0306 cylinder 6 misfire detected. The second one, it's a P1380 misfire detected rough road data not available. This P1380 trouble code most of the time is due to the fact that we have a problem on the ABS system. As you can note, we have the ABS light on. So I will do a separate video on this ABS warning light. So let me see, what else do we have. We have a P0480 fan 1 control circuit. We have a P0128 coolant thermostat, temperature below thermostat regulating temperature. And we have a P0013 bank 1 B camshaft position actuator circuit. Basically, this P0013 trouble code is basically telling us that there is some type of electrical problem, or maybe this connector was unplugged during engine operation, which will also set this code. And we finally have, last but not least, we have a P0014 bank 1 B camshaft position, timing, or advance or system performance. All right, so out of these 6 codes, I am going to concentrate on the last 2 first, since the P0014 code is a common problem on the 4.2 liter engine GM vehicles, such as the GMC Envoy and the Chevy Trailblazer. Basically, the camshaft actuator solenoid screens get clogged with engine debris, which restricts the engine oil flow, which affects the performance of the ignition timing. Or sometimes the screens break off and get stuck inside the pintle shaft, which is located inside the solenoid. All right, guys. So after troubleshooting the last 2 codes, I will then probably go after the P0306 cylinder misfire code. Actually, the customer gave me a brief history that the injector on cylinder number 6 was replaced already, but the code P0306 keeps coming up, and he also has replaced the spark plugs a while back. The only 2 things remaining that I could think of is to probably check the coil pack and perform a compression check on this cylinder number 6. I will only perform these checks if only the P0014 was not the root cause of this P0306 misfire code. Alright, guys, so the next step is to check the wiring diagram on the camshaft actuator solenoid and see how it's being controlled. Alright, guys. Alright, so I'm here looking at the wiring diagram for this camshaft actuator solenoid. There's 2 wires, a black wire and a brown wire. The black wire is the low reference wire, which basically means it's our ground wire, and the brown wire, which is a 12-volt source feed, that's our camshaft position position solenoid actuator height control. Since both wires are going to the computer, and on the brown wire it's telling it that it's the actuator height control, this tells me that this is probably a power side switch solenoid. So with the key on engine off, both wires should read approximately 0 volts. So next step is to go out there and perform this checks on with the voltmeter. All right, guys. All right. So this is where the camshaft actuator solenoid lives. It lives near the oil cap, which is also next to the power steering a reservoir. This solenoid is a 2-wire, in which we confirm is a brown wire and a black wire. Our brown wire is a 12-volt source feed, and our black wire is our low reference, which is our ground wire. So currently, I have the key on with the engine off. I'm back probing the brown wire. So like I said, a power side switch with the key on engine off and the solenoid not being energized, it should be approximately 0 volts on both wires. So right now, with the key on engine off, our voltage is showing approximately 0 volts. So now I'm gonna check the black wire, which is a ground wire. Okay. So before I check the ground wire, since our connector came off, so another way to check to see if our brown wire is a 12 volt our 12 volt source feed is to unplug it, and if our 0 volt jumps to approximately 12 volts, that's going to confirm that our brown wire is our 12 volt feed. So here we go. I'm going to unplug it. So as you see, our 0 volt jumped to approximately 12 volts. This is with the connector off. So I'm going to plug it back in, and it should go approximately back to 0 volts. So there you go. So now I'm going to check the black wire, which is our low reference wire, which is a ground wire. And this should also be approximately 0 volts. So here you go, guys. So this is with the black wire back probe. It's also showing approximately 0 volts, so it's the power side switch. The computer controls the 12 volt source feed that goes to this camshaft actuator solenoid. So next thing I'm going to perform is a ohm reading. The specs for this vehicle, it's approximately 8 to 12 ohms. So that's going to be the next test for this camshaft solenoid. All right, guys. All right, so I'm here now performing a ohm reading on this solenoid. I have both wires already connected to it. Like I said, the specs for the solenoid, it's approximately 8 to 12 ohms. It's showing about 8 ohms right now, which is within spec. So far this solenoid is looking so far good. I guess the only way to confirm more is to basically be able to do some bidirectional control to see if this solenoid is being able to perform its functions. But unfortunately, both of my scan tools do not give me the capability to do the bidirectional control on this cam actuator solenoid. So in other words, I'm going to have to do it manually by using a 12 volt power supply, and I'm going to manually energize the solenoid and see if it's clicking. I will do it with the engine off and with the engine running, and see what happens, guys. All right, and then I guess the last step to this diagnosis, it will have to be doing a visual inspection by removing this solenoid and see what the screens on the solenoid are basically look like, if the screens are torn apart, or if the screens on this solenoid are clogged up with oil debris. All right, guys. So I already have my power supply already hooked up. It's a 12-volt power supply and also a 6-volt. So I have my leads already back probing one terminal, and I have the other terminal right here. So I'm gonna touch the last terminal on and off, and if our solenoid clicks, it means that the function on this mechanical part of the solenoid, it's functioning. It means that our coils are intact, and also our pintle inside the solenoid, it's being able to function. All right, guys. So this is with the engine off. So here we go. I'm gonna I'll touch the other terminal on and off and see if this solenoid clicks. So you can see our solenoid is clicking. I don't know if my camera's picking up the sound. Here we go, on and off. So now the next step is to actually perform this with the engine on at idle. And if supposedly by performing this bypass manually energizing this vehicle at idle, the vehicle should stall. So here we go, guys. So next thing I'm gonna do is perform this test again, now but with the engine on. All right, guys. So this is with the engine on. I'm gonna perform this manual solenoid function here, and let's watch our engine either run real rough or even stall. So here we go. So as you can see, our engine almost stalled. I'm gonna perform this one more time. So you can see in our second try, our engine did stall. So if this symptom happens, it means that our solenoid is functioning. It has no opens or shorts. It is performing what it's supposed to do. So I guess our last thing to do is to confirm this solenoid by doing a visual inspection by removing it from its housing, and see if the screens are maybe clogged up or if the screens are maybe broken. So here we go, guys. So next is to remove this shift solenoid, and to remove it, you have to remove the 3 bolts that hold your power steering pump, which are located somewhere right here. So that's one right there, and the other one's on the other side, and the last one, the third one, will be beneath the pulley. Beneath the pulley. So it has 3 bolts. So without this reservoir being removed at least a couple inches back, this solenoid will not come out. All right, guys. So this is the camshaft actuator solenoid. It already came off, and we have evidence that our screens, which are right there in the middle, are basically clogged up with oil debris. So this is causing our P0014 code on this engine, and this is pretty much the reason why this engine is running rough during idle or during low speeds. So basically, this confirms the reason why this code is on is due to this dirty screens, which is restricting the oil flow to this camshaft actuator solenoid. So the best thing, as a technician, I would probably recommend the customer to basically replace this solenoid brand new. But if the But if you're in a tight budget, I would well, the second best choice is to try to clean it thoroughly with either brake cleaner or with carburetor cleaner, and basically clean this screens, which are restricting the uh, the the oil flow, which is not providing full function of this camshaft solenoid to to this engine, which is causing this rough idle. All right, guys. So I'm gonna confirm with the customer to see if if he wants to replace it brand new, or like I said, maybe just clean it. But if you replace it brand new or clean it, and once you put it back, make sure to also replace the oil, because due to the oil being dirty, which this will cause this screens to get clogged up. So make sure to do regular oil changes on your vehicle. So all right, guys. So we'll see what the customer wants to do. All right. And also, one more thing I wanted to add before I either replace it or clean it. It was to tell you guys that the test that we performed by doing our voltage checks, by doing the manual solenoid energize during the engine off, or doing engine idling, are valid, which basically showed us that this solenoid is good, but the problem is the restricted screens for the oil passages. So all right, guys, so that's the only info that I wanted to add into this. All right, guys. All right, guys. So one last thing that I forgot to mention is not to overlook the oil level on the engine, because a low oil level will also cause a P0014 code, which is basically the Camshaft Actuator Solenoid performance. And that's one thing I haven't really checked, is the oil level. So we'll see right now. The oil level seems to be it looks to be within spec on one side, and the other side it seems to be low. So I'm not sure what's really the oil level. But even if it's within spec, like the oil level pretty much looks worn out. It looks black, it looks dirty. I'm pretty sure if this vehicle has been running rough, there's probably contamination with the fuel. So that's another thing that I forgot to mention, is to also check your dipstick on your oil, on your oil level, because that's another common cause of this P0014. All right. All right, guys. So the customer decided to replace it with a brand new camshaft solenoid, and look at the difference between a new one, nice clean screens on the solenoid. Well, that's how a nice, good looking brand new solenoid looks like, compared to the old one. As you can see, we have dirty screens, especially the ones in the middle. Alright, guys, so next step is to just install this and see if this is going to solve this rough idle during idle and during low speeds. Alright, guys. Alright, guys, so so I have already replaced the new camshaft actuator solenoid. I'm ready. Oh, and I also did change the oil. I did an oil change. Like I said, that's very important if you replace it with the new one, or if you even clean it. So the next step is to clear the DTCs. Alright, so let me just check real quick if they were erased. So right now we have no codes found. Alright, so the next step let's just basically start the engine and see what happens, guys. So here we go. Well, it seems that this vehicle is running much better now. The idle that I was seeing during idle was really rough. The symptoms did get better, but I do see that the engine is running a little bit rough, and that could also be due to our P0306 code. But the roughness that we had before replacing the solenoid, was much worse. The idle was like really bad, really rough. So I say that we did fix the major problem, which was the rough idle. Now we might have to attack the P0306 now, since I still feel like a little miss, and that could be due to that the cylinder number 6. Alright guys, so after taking the vehicle for a road test to see the performance of the vehicle, the roughness was still there, but this time I feel that that is due to a misfire. While driving, the check engine light did come back. So I already have my scan 2 hooked up to see what we have. So I'm gonna hit the permanent DTC. So now it's showing they have 2 codes. It's a P0306 cylinder 6 misfire detected and a P1380 misfire detected rough road data not available. And like I said, this is the P1380 is probably due to the ABS light being on. Because I did a little research on that code, and it seems that the crankshaft position sensor works with the ABS speed sensors to actually detect any misfires during rough road conditions. So like I said, it seems that this P0306 cylinder 6 misfire is a hard fault code, so it's there constantly. So at least right now we know that the P0014 for now, it's a fix, since only 2 codes came back, which are not the P0013 or the P0014. So the next diagnosis will be troubleshooting the P0306. So I'll do a separate video on this. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like.